So I've been doing many videos going over how you can make the most out of WoW Remix, whether that be leveling up an army of alts or getting as much bronze as you want. But there's actually a way where you're going to be able to make millions of gold through WoW Remix, and it's actually pretty easy. Now, as you may have guessed, you're not going to be making the actual gold in the WoW Remix event. You're going to be making the gold on the characters that are transferred to retail servers after WoW Remix ends. Now, unless something changes, WoW Remix is set to end on August 19th, which is actually only a few days until the War Within launches. Now, there is the potential that these characters can be transferred over to retail servers before that, because a lot of people have been asking for that to be a possibility, so we could play all of our new characters from WoW Remix with the pre-patch that will probably be launching a few weeks before the War Within launch. So that is a possibility, but as of right now, all of these characters you're going to be using will be transferred on August 19th. Now, the first part of this is going to be to level up some characters, and more specifically, level up your strength users. So your paladins, your death knights, or your warriors, because these are the only three classes that can currently use this method. Now, you're probably going to want to just be leveling these characters up to level 70, because that is very quick, especially if you watch any of my previous videos and use any of those leveling methods. You could potentially get characters from 10 to 70 in under 2 hours. So I'd probably just recommend to get them to that level, but you technically only need these characters to be level 30. And if you're going to want to be fully soloing this method, you should probably have these characters at like level 40, level 45. But once they're at that point, they're able to take part in this gold farm. It may just be a little bit harder than just getting them all the way to 70. And the reason you're going to want any of the strength users to be at a certain level to make this gold is because you're going to be taking them once they're on the live servers and starting the Shadowmourne questline. Now, if you've never heard about this questline, Shadowmourne is a legendary weapon from the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. It's focused around the Icecrown Citadel raid, and it takes you through this big questline where you have to do a bunch of objectives. You have to get resources from Icecrown Citadel, and once you get the legendary weapon of Shadowmourne, you will then also be able to get a box filled with a bunch of items that you will be able to make a ridiculous amount of gold on. And this video is not going to be a guide on how to do the whole Shadowmourne questline. I'll have a link in the description to a WoW post that goes over most of this, and you can do 99% of this questline solo. There is one part that you may need 1 or 2 other players to do, and while saying that, there is actually a way to do this entire questline solo, because there is a very weird and potentially difficult workaround for the one part that you may need other players. But again, I'll link that post in the description. If you've never heard of or done any of the Shadowmourne questline, that post will tell you how to do all of it. It's very easy, doesn't take much time at all, but again, for one part, you may need some other players. Now, once you've obtained your legendary Shadowmourne, you're then going to go kill the Lich King with your new legendary. And once you do that and loot the Lich King, he will drop a new box that gives you 5 different quest items. Now, all 5 of these items are going to start a new quest, and these quests are basically to just go turn them into different characters all over the world. And once you go and turn in those quests, you will get 5 different items, all 5 of which are BOE, and you're able to sell them to other players. Now, these 5 items are going to be Muradin's Favor, which is a transformation toy, the Reins of the Crimson Death Charger, which is a mount, Jaina's Locket, which is a trinket with a teleport, Tabard of the Lightbringer, which is a pretty cool tabard with an on-use effect, and Sylvanas' Music Box, which is another toy. Now, as mentioned, all 5 of these items are BOE, so they're able to be sold on the auction house or just traded to other players. And since all 5 of these items can only be obtained through this quest, and because only 3 classes can do this quest, and because you can only do this quest on a character one time, all of these items are still decently expensive. So the average price of these items on US servers is around 45k for Muradin's Favor. It's over 400,000 gold for Reigns of the Crimson Death Charger. It's around 45k for Jaina's Locket. It's over 160,000 gold for the Tablet of the Lightbringer, and it's around 55,000 gold for Sylvanas' music box. So going off of the average price on US realms, you will get around 700,000 gold for all of these items, and you get all of them for completing the quest. Now there's a few things you're probably going to want to do if you're going to go make a bunch of strength users on Remix and level them all up. One of the first and most important ones is if you're going to be making a bunch of characters to do this on, make sure they're on different servers, and I'd probably be doing this on a lot of the more high population servers just so it doesn't take months and months to sell all of these items. And the reason you're going to want these characters on different servers is if because you say and go make 10 characters on one server and go do this quest on all 10, you're now trying to sell 10 Sylvanas music boxes to one realm of people. Even if you could sell these in a decent time, going through 10 of them is just going to take much longer. If you put 10 characters on 10 different realms, you're only selling one music box per realm, so you could sell all of them and get much more gold much more quickly. Now that comes with the caveat that you may want a bunch of gold on one realm, but realistically these days the only things that really matters for is if you're buying like BOE gear or getting like gems or enchants and you want a bunch of gold so you can gear up all of your characters on one realm. That's really the only reason that matters, because if you're buying most of the other most expensive items, you can do it on any server. If you're buying any transmog, any mounts, pets, toys, anything like that, you can do it on any server and it'll just make it account wide. And then one of the most important and probably one of the big reasons why people would be doing this is WoW tokens, and those are also account wide. And again, based off the average prices of these items right now, you're going to be getting around 700,000 gold on each one of these characters you do the quest on anyway. So I don't think you're really going to have issues splitting these all up on all different servers. And if you don't care about the class you're making, you're just making this character to go do this quest on, make all of them either paladins or death knights. The primary reason is the one objective that you may need other players for becomes much easier if you have a battle res, because if you have a battle res and you can get a shaman to help you with this objective, you actually only need one other person. But if you say use a warrior and you don't have a battle res, it's guaranteed that you need two other people. But that's pretty much the entirety of the method. But for the next 70 days of WoW Remix, all you're really going to be doing is spreading out a bunch of strength using characters on a bunch of different servers and leveling them all up. And again, there's like 70 days left of WoW Remix, so you could just go and level all of them a couple times a day, maybe do all their dailies every day, and you'll have all of them very easily level 70 by the end of this event. And again, it's still going to be more time efficient than you could possibly do in retail. For whatever reason, I've been seeing some people say that you could level as fast on retail as you can on WoW Remix, which is just not true. I have multiple videos going over methods where you can level characters from 10 to 70 in under 2 hours, and that's not even as efficiently as you can possibly do it. And from what I've seen, the world record of leveling up to level 70 in Dragonflight is like 4 hours, and that's with some absurd setup. I know one of the methods I've seen is you have a ton of different people help you out where they teleport you to a bunch of different points throughout the entirety of the game's world. But in WoW Remix, you can very easily, without trying and half AFK, level from 10 to 70 in only a couple hours. And you'll also be getting a ridiculous amount of cosmetic rewards while doing that. So I would definitely recommend doing this if you're somebody that plans on playing World of Warcraft for a long term, or at least for some decent length of time, because this is a bit more of a long-term gold making method. The Shadowborn quest itself isn't really time consuming, but it does have some time gating, so it will take at least a couple weeks to be able to actually get through all of the different parts to be able to get it. So this is more of a long-term gold making method, but for the amount of gold you're getting for the amount of time it takes to do this, there's not many other possible farms in WoW that can make you that much gold. But that's all I want to go over, so thanks for watching.